Howdy again, folks. Welcome back to some more songs and stories of the Old West. Well, we've come to about the end of an era, and we're going to go to the summer of 1886, and it was an extremely difficult time for both man and beast in the northern plain states. There was a record heat wave, fires roared across the prairies, and a plague of grasshoppers besieged the ranchers. And that fall, even stranger things began to happen. Many of the old-timers predicted a bad time ahead as the beavers collected twice the amount of willow brush that they usually would collect, and all the ducks and geese flew south a month early. Muskrat fur was thicker than usual, and white Arctic owls appeared for the first time. But the ranchers were foolish, and they didn't heed nature's warnings. They left their cattle herds to roam free on the open range. And on January 28, 1887, the great blizzard hit the Northwest and Midwest. And for 72 hours, the storm howled across the land, dropping mountains of white snow from Canada to New Mexico and even Texas, with drifts over 100 feet. Entire ranch houses were snowed under. Well, the ranchers waited for the Chinook, the warm wind, to come, but it never came. And the great blizzard was followed by another and another. And it snowed every day but 3 in the month of February. And there was temperatures as low as 15 degrees, with winds as high as 60 miles an hour. Desperate hordes of hungry cattle ate tar paper from the walls of ranch houses and wool off the bodies of dead sheep before they finally starved to death too. Well, when the spring thaw finally arrived in March, the ranchers, all they had left to do was count their losses. Most ranches had lost from 40 to 90% of their cattle. The plains were littered with cattle carcasses. Many ranches had lost everything they had, and many people had lost their lives. Why, they found people in their cabins frozen to death under all the blankets that they could have found at the time. Well, it was a dreary time, and only the most determined decided to stick it out and continue with cattle ranching. The people who decided to stay had learned a very hard lesson. They would have to provide both shelter and feed for their cattle in the winter. Now, most large ranches had lost so much stock that they were bankrupt, and they had to lay off most of their cowboys. And I got more about this coming up, and take you out with just a little bit of guitar playing. Come on back next time for the rest of this story.